Can't, the weather's been awesome. I mean, used to 90, 100 degree weather and having sometimes in the 60s and in the 70s. It's been ideal. So it's been good. Camp's been good.
We've heard Coach Cristobal talk about how he wants to rotate a bunch of different guys along the offensive line. How do you feel about the depth right now and the versatility of some of the guys on your line?
Well, that's a tremendous, one of the tremendous abilities that we have because of their intelligence and because of their flexibility, not only mentally but also physically, that we've been able to move those guys around. Because as far as the depth chart goes, it's, you want to put your best 5 guys on the field. And if your best 5 guys are 5 guards, then that's what you got to do. If your best 5 guys are 5 tackles, then that's what you got to do. You always want to, if one guy goes down, you want the next man up to be the next best guy, not the next best right guard. So you just got to move them around, get them to be comfortable being uncomfortable, by moving them to different spots and stuff like that. And, Throckmorton, every practice so far, he's played 4 positions. Except for the left guard spot, he's played all of them. So just tremendous credit to him. And it's, ability, durability, flexibility. Those are things that are important for playing along the offensive line. So it's tremendous. It just helps build up depth, continues to competition, and so it's been real well for us.
Like Calvin's been able to pick up some of the different positions.
Well, picked it up pretty quickly? I mean, you're talking about a kid who's got a 4.2 in school. This is easy. This is remedial stuff for him. I mean, he's just tremendous, and he knows that it just helps him become a better player because now he knows everything that's going on around him, not just his spot. So he's able to play without blinders and be able to see the entire field. So it's been nothing but beneficial to him and tremendously beneficial to us too. So he's done tremendous at any spot that we've put him at.
How does this line compare to past lines you've coached?
Oh heck. A lot bigger, a lot stronger, a lot more powerful. It's tremendous. It's a tremendous offensive line, and tremendous brotherhood that they have together. So I'm looking forward to seeing them get out there on September 1st and going against opposite color and different schemes and guys that move around and stuff like that. And I know they are too, but it's tremendous. I mean, it's a blessing to be coaching them, that's for sure.
How about Penei Sewell? How much has he grown in fall camp, and what is his skill set for your offense?
Well, everybody knows. I mean, what a tremendous recruit, right, and all that stuff. His physical gifts, and you see him move around, you see him jump. He's strong and all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, he's got a 5-star work ethic, and he's got a 5-star determination. He's got a 5-star competitiveness about him. That's what makes him special. It is not the other stuff. I mean, that's what makes him who he is. And if he gets beat on a play, the next play, that defensive guy is in trouble because he's going to come back and get after him. He's so competitive, he's so dialed in, and he's just the growth that he's shown on the field is because he's grown off the field in the classroom and stuff like that. He's just a tremendous football player. He's got miles to go still, but he's not satisfied with where he's at, and that's what he'll continue to grow as a player.
When you were in high school and you kind of first got to know Mario, did you have any sense that he would, be a big-time head coach someday, or?
No, I think he was going to be a Secret Service agent. I was going to be an engineer, and somewhere along the line that got lost. So I did know this, that a guy with his work ethic, with his mindset, with his toughness, with his dedication, was going to be successful in any path of life that he chose. And tremendous blessing to be able to see him in action now as the head football coach again, and how much he's grown in the last 12 years since being a head coach last. I'm privy to have been able to been over there with him at the other place and over here now, and you can really see the growth and it grows. The human beings grow, right? I mean, he's grown. He's got his family, but when we were together, he had a wife, no kids. Now he's got a wife, 2 kids. So he's grown in that sense. He's grown as a head football coach. So it's tremendous to see that. But he had those intangibles as a human being back in high school to be successful in any walk of life that he chose.
What's it been like to reunite with him at Oregon and have this opportunity?
It's awesome to be with like-minded people. Not only him, but the rest of the guys on the staff as well. And it's been a blessing because it's going to be awesome to try to help coach achieve the goal that he has set for this program. And it'll be nice to be along for the ride on that. So it's great. It's a blessing every day to come to work with individuals that you respect and individuals that you believe in the same things that they believe in.
How do you feel Dallas has been able to acclimate with this program? Obviously switching.
Weather-wise, awesome. It's a lot hotter in Tuscaloosa, Alabama than it is here. But you know what? He's got such a personality. You know, and you know, going back to his relationship with Coach Cristobal, recruiting him out of high school, that you can't just bring anybody. You can't just take any kid that's a graduate transfer and bring him into a program. It's got to be a kid that you know has the right personality, right character to be able to meld with the locker room here. You know, and he's taken to, no pun intended, like a duck to water. I mean, he's taken to it just, you know, he knows he came in and fit in. You know, he came in and fit in, and they love him off the field, not only on the field and in the weight room, you know. And he just fell in line, kept his mouth shut, worked, earned their respect. He wasn't given that respect just because he came from wherever he came from. He earned that respect. So he's fit in perfectly with that group. It has there's been no behind-the-scenes drama, none of that stuff, just because of, again, the type of person he is. And I would say that with our 3 graduate transfers, him, Hines, and Dylan. All 3 of those guys, you got to make sure you do your background check on those guys as people, because when they come into the locker room, I mean, you know, there's guys that have been here together, and all of a sudden you're bringing this guy in from the outside. How's he going to fit in? And all those 3 guys have fit in tremendously, just because of their personality, their character.
Do you feel like there's even like a bigger microscope on a guy that's coming from like the trenches of Alabama, like just kind of that?
No, you know what? Once you get out there, whether you're Penei Sewell coming from high school, or you're Dallas Warmack coming from wherever he came from, or you're me coming from Marshall, or no matter what, as long as you work hard and you don't care, you don't think about that. Like, I don't think about Dallas Warmack when I'm talking to him. Hey, you know, this is a graduate transfer. He's just an offensive lineman that you're coaching, you know, and that's how they deal with each other, to be honest with you. But, you know, if there is a microscope, I mean, his personality, I'm sure you all have spoken to him before, his personality is tremendous.
Coach, jumping in midway, sorry if it's a repeat, but Jake Hansen said his goal this year is to set himself apart as one of the best centers in the nation. What have you seen him do to do that?
You know what? Unfortunately, I haven't been here with him to see how it was in the past. I do know one thing. He's become a tremendous leader vocally, you know, which, again, get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's not – he's a pretty reserved dude. I would probably say kind of introverted, but that's one of the things that the strength staff, Coach Cristobal, myself, Coach Woodle, we've kind of forced him. Hey, listen, you got your hand on the ball, man. You got your hand on the ball. You've got to speak. You know, you've got to not only lead by example, but every play you've got to say, hey, give us the front, give us this, give us the calls, all that stuff. So he's grown tremendously just in that aspect of it, which has helped him grow as a player. He's a tremendous football player. You know, you know what you saw in film and stuff like that. Playing last year, the last half of the year with that hip deal that he had, coming back from it, he's just a tough dude that has now started coming out of his shell from a leadership standpoint. And hopefully, I mean, this program's had a tremendous history of centers, and he's in line to be that next guy there. So he's tremendous.
Kind of like the quarterback, you're seeing the center come a little out of his shell.
You know what? Absolutely. Both those guys. I mean, both those guys. Right? Just like in baseball, you got to be strong up the middle, and those guys are strong up the middle, and that leadership that both of those guys have shown, they've come out of their shell. You know, just going out there and breaking down the team and doing the duck jacks and all that stuff that, and you know, you got, you know, hey Jake, you can't be the 6th in line when you're doing a drill. You know, you got to force him up there, and he's taken that and he understands that, and just a tremendous football player.
Penei Sewell, a guy that size,
sure.
Were you shocked at how well he's moved coming in?
Well, you saw it on film. You know, you saw it on film. He bends his ankles, bends his knees, sinks his hips. You know, just plays with tremendous flexibility. I'm shocked when you get to see it in person and not on film. You know, but as far as, like I said before, it's the other stuff. The intangible stuff, the work ethic, the intelligence, the desire, the competitiveness, that really is what sets him apart. I mean, it really is. You guys all know there's a lot of 4-star, 5-star kids in high school come to college and don't do anything because they don't have those intangibles where you can't get away with that in college if you don't have that. He's got that. He's got that. So his future's bright. He's still working. He's got miles to go. You know, and we're just excited to see how this, you know, the depth chart, the organizational chart, excuse me, plays out and stuff like that, and to see where he ends up on it. But I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Absolutely.
Preached a lot about physicality. Do you feel like your offensive line is there yet?
Well, you know what? We're there now against our own people. It'd be nice to see him against Bowling Green, against Portland State, against San Jose State, against Stanford. That's the next step, right? The next step is to see him against people that they don't know. But, I mean, we pound him about it. That's for sure. We pound him about it. That's our pride. Everything starts in the trenches. So it'll be great to be able to see them do it against other people when they don't necessarily know what those guys are doing on defense at that particular time. So that's just the next step. That's the next phase of it to establishing it. And we tell them, Coach Chris Ball says it, put your brand, put your standard on film. Put your brand, put your standard on film. So what are we going to put on film? What's our next opponent going to see on September 2nd? I know we play September 1st. I didn't forget that. On September 2nd, when that next opponent puts on your film to scout you and break you down, right, what do they see on film? That's who you are. That's how physical you are. Not what we say. We could say that we're going to be physical and all that stuff. What do we put on film? Because that's what you are.